Beyond Fun, Players' Experiences of Accessible Rehabilitation Gaming for Spinal Cord Injury by Gabriele Cimolino, Sussan Askari, and T.C. Nicholas Graham. Spinal cord injury is a traumatic and life-altering event that may prevent those who have them from living their lives the way that they used to. Disabled by the lives they knew, patients in rehabilitation need to perform exercises such as cycling to improve their sensory motor function. Games are a great way to make these exercises more fun, but if they're not designed well, they may be seen as just another disabling activity. In this presentation, we provide the first exploration into how games might affect patients' experiences of spinal cord injury rehabilitation more generally. The results of our study indicate that games may help patients to overcome their most negative rehabilitation experiences and support their autonomy, competence, and relatedness. They illustrate that understanding the context of rehabilitation is necessary for designing compelling rehabilitation games. Participants told us that play enabled them to participate in a previously disabling activity, that overcoming gameplay challenges and receiving validating feedback made them feel accomplished, and that multiplayer games would have provided patients an opportunity to play together and support each other. However, inaccessible games risk disabling players with impossible challenges and invalidating feedback. The spinal cord connects the brain to the rest of the body, so injuries lower down cause motor dysfunction in the legs, while injuries higher up also affect the arms. Since spinal cord injury typically affects patients' legs, cycling is used in rehabilitation. Some patients cycle actively, meaning that they push the pedals themselves, while others cycle passively, meaning that a motor moves their legs for them. For this purpose, devices such as the Viva 2, shown here, are used. Passive cycling provides necessary activation of the leg muscles, but it's not terribly engaging, and even active cycling can get boring quickly. So we asked 6 participants to play 3 rehabilitation games while either actively or passively cycling. Participants first played Motomax, a cycling-based rehabilitation game that comes pre-installed on the Viva 2. This game can only be played while actively cycling, so it was included to elicit participants' experiences of inaccessible rehabilitation games. They then played Dino Dash and Dozo Quest. In these games, pedaling makes the avatar move forward, the left analog stick makes it turn, and pressing a button makes it perform actions. If participants cycled passively, then their avatar's movement was automated. They were offered a joystick and byte switch if they could not use the gamepad, and as a last resort, inaccessible mechanics were automated. Participants played each game for approximately 10 minutes and then told us about their experiences in an interview. We analyzed their feedback and identified 2 themes. Our first theme establishes the context of rehabilitation, capturing participants' emotions and experiences. As we will see, context is critical for designing and deploying successful rehabilitation games. In our first theme, participants describe their grief and explain that patients may feel that their lives were ended by their injuries. One participant said, "A traumatic injury is a very depressing moment because you don't really want to talk to anyone. I became very combative because, well, one day I was fine, and the next minute I was a different person altogether physically." He believed that if not addressed, patients' depression could prevent them from coming to terms with their injuries and participating in rehabilitation. Regardless of whether they cycled actively or passively, participants found it boring because there was little for them to do. One participant explained that a lot of times you look out the window and you people watch, because sometimes it can be boring. However, passive cycling was particularly unengaging because it doesn't require active participation. Another participant said, "I usually sleep the whole time I'm on the Viva 2. It does all the work. I know I can't do any of the work myself because of my complete paralysis." This combination of negative emotions and unengaging exercise created what one participant called time for reflection. He explained that at 5:30 or 6 o'clock, when everybody went home, it's the most depressing place in the goddamn world. And it is because now it's when you're by yourself and it's, okay, I'm in a wheelchair. I can't stand up and walk to this door. I can't stand up and take my dog for a walk, or do this, or do that. And that's a lot of time for reflection. And usually it's never positive. It's always a very depressing thing to watch, and it is. Participants wanted something to distract them from the other things that occupied their minds while cycling. In our second theme, participants told us how play enabled them to participate in a disabling activity, and how it might have helped them to regulate their negative emotions. Participants liked that the games provided them challenges to overcome, making their efforts more meaningful. One participant said that some people might feel that cycling is a waste of time and they're not sure why they're doing it, so it allows them to have another objective to why they're doing physio. Participants who actively cycled liked that the games provided them a way to track their progress. Another participant explained that it's just more feedback immediately rather than waiting for a doctor to say this or that. You'd automatically see how you're doing. However, seeing how you're doing may be disabling if the exercise is inaccessible. When explaining Motomax, another participant said, "I was just watching to see if I was actually pedaling at all," which I wasn't. Overcoming gameplay challenges made participants feel accomplished. So gaming was thrilling in ways that cycling was not. One participant explained that it was a lot of fun, just like how it was a race, like how you can win at something, puts a little competition into it. Another participant believed that competitive games would provide opportunities for patients to engage with each other. He said, "Something like this would be great, just to socialize you with other patients and give you a competitive fire again." However, gameplay challenges that were too difficult made players feel disabled. When discussing Dozo Quest, one participant said, "I kept on just dying, jumping from stone to stone. It was almost as if, oh crap, I can't do this," which is why I stopped playing video games altogether. By integrating cycling into the games, participants were able to actively participate in a previously disabling activity. One participant explained that if it's just passively pedaling, then I feel like I'm not really doing anything. So having something there on the same device makes you feel a little better about using it. Another participant said that it was engaging just being able to play a game while you're there, instead of just sitting there and staring at a wall. And a third participant explained that rehabilitation gaming allows you to think that you can still do something that, to be honest, you never thought that you'd be able to do again. Our analysis indicates that games can improve patients' rehabilitation experiences overall. However, the context in which these games are played determines how players react to them. When designed poorly, rehabilitation games can disable, but when designed with sensitivity to the context of rehabilitation, games can provide benefits beyond making exercise more fun. The benefits the participants described roughly correspond with the three psychological needs of self-determination theory: autonomy, competence, and relatedness. Games can make exercise something patients want to rather than have to do, and being able to engage in passive cycling may support their autonomy. Overcoming gameplay challenges and receiving validating feedback may support their competence, and playing with others may help patients to make connections that extend beyond rehabilitation, supporting their relatedness. In summary, overcoming gameplay challenges may show patients that they can overcome life's challenges. Inaccessible rehabilitation games risk disabling players and may add insult to injury. And games may be able to improve patients' experiences of rehabilitation beyond making exercise more fun. Or as one participant put it, games would be beneficial for anyone who has had some sort of injury and thinks that life might be over. But there's still lots to do in life. Now, if you don't mind, I'd like to get back to my game.